hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
right, welcome back to the Heavy Metal Mayhem Radio Show. It is Sunday, April 19th. I can't believe there's only one more week left in the month of April. How fast did this year start going by already? I feel like we just kicked off the new year not long ago, but it's been 4 months almost. So, wow. But we got a great show for you tonight. Lisa St. Anne of Kid Gloves is our first guest, and then Joel McGee of Crimson Steel will be up in the second half of the show. We got a great one for everybody tonight. I've been such a fan of Kid Gloves for so many decades now, so it'd be great to talk to Lisa about the band and get all the information that we don't know about them out now. So I'm looking forward to that. Man, it was cold today here in New York. We had a week of 90-degree weather, and naturally, my air conditioner, my central air went out. So I got it fixed just in time for the cold weather. So I'm happy about that. But it's chilly and freezing over here today. I can't wait to get back into the summer. I miss having 4 seasons. We don't get that anymore here in New York. It's cold and then it's summer. It's cold and then it's summer. Where there's no spring, there's no fall. There's just winter and summer. That's all we get these days. But right there, Blessed Death, Omen of Fate. You know, the band was going to a rehearsal one night and they were in their car and the car flipped over and crashed. They were involved in a bad accident. And when they got out of the car was on fire, it was smoking. They heard Merciful Fate playing on the radio and they felt like King saved them. So if you listen to the lyrics of that song, it's all about Merciful Fate, King Diamond, saving Blessed Death, and they went on to do a lot of great things. This was one band that always wished we have gotten back together and did a reunion show. But one of the guitar players passed away. It's got to be about 7 or 8 years now, and the singer Larry has like disappeared off the face of the earth. So I don't think it'll ever happen. But that would have been a great reunion. I absolutely would have loved to see them one more time. I love it. All right, let's get back into the music. Helmet from Belgium wanted to hear Cities. You don't have to convince me to play Cities, one of my all-time favorite bands. Here's Cruel Seal of the remastered version of Annihilation Absolute. Okay, Max Lynx with Metal Never Dies. Before that, Ray Gun, Critical Miscalculation, and The Mighty Cities of Cruel Sea. I mean, the music business is a crazy business. I mean, there are people with absolutely zero talent that make it to the top and become rich, famous, and millionaires. And there are bands that work really hard, have everything going for them. They just can't get to that next level. And to me, Cities were one of those bands. I think the first time I saw them, I don't remember if it was at Lemoore or if it was at the Paramount here in Staten Island. I think it was at the Paramount. They played with Manowar and Virgin Steel. It was called World War III was the show. And man, these guys came out and they had everything going on with them. They had the long hair, they had the looks, they had the songs. They could all play the instruments really well. Ronnie, what an amazing singer! I think we had Ronnie in the show about 2 years ago when they were reissuing Annihilation Absolute. And Ronnie's a great guy. Lives out here in Staten Island, not far from me. I mean, they just had everything going for them. I mean, when they played at Lemoore, it was like an event. The place was packed to the rafters. I don't remember how many people Lemoore held back in the day, maybe 800, 1,000. I'm not even sure. But it was always a sold out night when they played. They were such a big band. And it just seems like the album came out at the wrong time. Then the production of it wasn't that good. And everything just fell apart for those guys. AJ wound up in Twisted Sister, so that was a good thing for him. But it just, they were such a great band, and more should have happened for them. It always makes you wonder why it doesn't, but it just happens that way in the music business. Can't really say why. All right. Well, hey, I want to remind everybody this Wednesday, Alex isn't with us in the chat tonight because he's getting a good night's sleep over in Greece because he's heading to USA tomorrow. He's going to be in New York City Wednesday at Generation Records. His new book, Tear It Down. They're going to be doing a book presentation. He'll be signing copies of the book if you buy it. There's going to be a Q&A panel including Paris Mayhew from the Crow Mags. He also did the forward in Alex's book. And if I haven't said it already, pick up this book. Not just because he put my Ben Stillborn in there, because it's a really great book about the scene back in the day. And it's like over 600 pages long. It's worth every penny of it. And instead of paying double the price like I did to get it shipped over from Europe, buy it tomorrow at Generation Records. Get yourself a copy of it. Who else is going to be? Tim McMurtry, my good friend from MLD, would be there. Sean Taggart. Sean did a lot of the flies from the New York hardcore shows back in the day. I still got a lot of his stillborn flies up on my wall even till now. And I'm looking at one as I'm talking to you. And I think there's going to be further people there. Freddie Alvarez is going to be there. I just reconnected with Freddie about a week ago from ABC No Rio. And they're going to be doing the Angry Corpses record release party and the listener session. So if you're in the city, be there. It's going to be a great time. I think it's at 210 Thompson Street, Generation Records. But check it out on the internet to make sure. And I can't wait. I'm looking forward to meeting Alex. It's been a long time that we've been talking. It'd be nice to meet him in person. So, all right, let's get back to the music. We'll get one more quick set in, and then we'll get to Lisa right after that. I'll give her a call. How about we do some Black Lace on the attack? right, Racer X with Hotter Than Fire. I wanted to get on a Kid Glove song before the interview, but it looks like we're getting close to the time. So let me give Lisa a call, and we'll just play those extra songs after the interview. So let me dial her up here. Just bear with me a second, and we'll get her on the line. We didn't have any live interviews last week. I just realized that everybody was pre-recorded last week, so it's nice to get back to the live ones. So here we go.
Hello.
Lisa, this is Mike calling for our interview. You're live on the air. How are you? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. I think we got cut off. It's very low.
Okay, how's that? Is
Ah,
that
that's
better?
perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Really excited.
So am I. Listen, I remember buying that record, Feel the Fight back in 1986, and I was such a fan of the band. But we didn't have the internet back then. Nobody knew what was going on or what was happening with the bands, and I never heard from the bands again after that. So I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, it was short lived. I was thinking about this, getting ready for this interview, and it was the shortest part of my music career. It went on for a good 12, 13 years after that, after Kid
Wow.
Gloves.
But it's
Yeah.
fun. It's funny because that band that left such an impact that even people look for that record today. It goes for a fortune if you could actually find it anywhere online, and it's just incredible how it's held up over like over the last 4 decades. It's just incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really magical. I remember, you know, the my favorite story to tell is I think Spinal Tap had come out already. If it had not, I don't know. I don't know. But I remember we went down to Edison, New Jersey to do a record signing. And I was for sure, like, we were going to walk up there and there was going to be nobody. It was going to be crickets. And there was a line around the block. And I was like, wow, this is so unbelievable. It was like a dream. It really was. It was like a dream that time. And it was all because of SOU. SOU is what launched us.
Yeah,
So,
people forget that back then in the '80s we relied on college radio stations to get the hard rock and the heavy metal music out because nobody else was playing it at the time. So the college stations really did a lot for the bands, especially like the local bands, because you guys were from New Jersey back in the day.
yeah, we were from New Jersey, and WSOU had a huge range, right? It went all through the tri-state area. You could even get it out in Long Island and up in Connecticut in some spots. So it was, yeah. I mean, and they played it. They played the snot out of that record. So
Yeah, it was a great album, and it still holds up till today, which shows like good music never really dies out. It just kind of relives on and on. And when you think about it, I mean, how did this whole thing come together? Was it around like the early '80s, the mid '80s? When did it all start?
yeah, it wasn't too long before we got that all together. Maybe 6 months, maybe
Wow.
a year, maybe. No, it was pretty quick. Yeah. So I auditioned for this band up in Westchester. At the time, Frank was the guitar player, and I think we auditioned at his house. And he and I think I sang. I'm pretty sure I sang Four Horsemen, and I probably sang Icarus, an Iron Maiden tune or two, and they were like, "Okay, you're in," and then we just started writing, and um, that's Feel the Fire was, yeah, that's where it came from. Feel the Fire was probably one of the first songs we wrote.
I mean, when you guys got together, you're starting to put this down. I mean, was there a direction that you wanted the band to go in? Because, music around the mid '80s, '85, '86, what they call the glam metal, the hair metal scene was really starting to explode and come about. Before that, it was a lot of more of the heavy metal that was out there, and people wanted to get a little bit more commercial because they wanted to get airplay. I mean, you guys kind of like right in the middle of it all. Like you were good enough to be like a hard rock AOR band, but yet you were still like a little bit of a heavy metal band. You kind of mixed all of it together, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can easily hear the influence, right, of like Dokken and all those other kind of the glam rock bands, but we were pretty hardcore into more of the heavier metal of the time. Like I said, like they had me audition on some Metallica and Iron Maiden, and And that's the kind of stuff that I was singing, Judas Priest and things like that, and some bands that I had been in before. But I think, you know what? I mean, I have like the Beatles running through my core. And so I think that that translates out to a little bit more of that poppy kind of glam rock sound that we were able to produce. But a song like Wasted Live, like that felt like, that kind of felt like it was hitting more towards the edge. Not compared to a lot of the stuff I've listened to on your show tonight. I feel like we're pretty light.
Nah, we play everything on here, so don't feel don't feel bad. We play a little bit of everything. Listen. I grew up. I was born in the '60s. I grew up in the '70s, so I listened to everything that came about and everything that came long before metal was really metal, and before hard rock became the real hard rock that we know. So I'm into it all. But I love that you did a cover of "Call Me" by Blondie on there because you were saying they wanted you to sing some Judas Priest at the try out of Metallica, and you picked Blondie as a cover song to do on the record, and it's such a great cover of that song.
It was so funny. Like my mom is like 90 now, and I think she went out one day and she was in some store and they were playing the original version of Call Me, and she's like calls me up and she's like, "I heard you playing in the store. No, it was really you." It was really funny. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, I mean I loved Blondie. Like I was pretty much listening to everything in the 80s. Lots of like new wave and lots of metal and lots of pop stuff and R&B. So, yeah, that song is heavy. That
No,
song is really heavy.
it's a great one, and nobody knows in the show, but like in the '70s and '80s, I saw Blondie dozens of times because my best friend, his cousin was a keyboard player in Blondie, so he would come pick us up to go to rehearsals. We watched them rehearse. We see them play live when they were in the New York area. So I got to see Blondie
Wow.
dozens of times, and it was and it was great because they were like something else back then. If people don't realize like
Yeah.
how influential they were and what they contributed to music.
Oh my God. And she was incredible. Like she was the first badass,
Yeah,
right? She
yeah.
was one of the first badass singers. And yeah, I mean, for sure.
Oh man.
Definitely
So
early idol.
So, Lisa, like you said, within a year's time, the record comes after just getting together, and you did the whole record on your own. Is that correct?
We did. Yeah, we worked out in the studio in Brooklyn. Audie, he was our engineer. 2-inch tape. Does anybody remember the
Yep.
days of 2-inch tape? I mean, and like we were doing stuff like running stuff like snare drums backwards and stuff like that. Like in Wasted Live, we ran the whole thing backwards at the end. We ran the beginning back at the end backwards and just doing crazy stuff. And I remember coming out of that studio after recording all night, like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, sun's coming up, and listening to Feel the Fire on the cassette player in the van on the way back and saying, yeah, this is pretty cool. Those are really good days.
Yeah. Most bands recorded late at night because it was cheaper and it was less money to spend going to the
Yeah.
studio to do it. So that's why that happened. But
Yeah.
you did do it on your own. You put it out. I mean, how did you feel the reaction was at the time? Or did you try to shop it around to labels, or were you just interested in getting a product out there as quickly as possible?
Um, you know, so remember, these are the 80s, and some of my brain cells are still left in the 80s, I
That's
will
okay.
say.
So am I.
Um, but I say, I'm not sure. I think we just started playing out. Like the plan was to get a gig at Lemoore. That was the biggest deal, that could possibly ever happen. And I think we really when we got in with SOU and they started playing us, then it just opened up all the doors. Then we could play anywhere we wanted. And then we ended up getting a distribution deal with someone. Don't ask me who because I can't remember. And it was overseas, actually. And we ended up doing a pretty big interview with an overseas magazine. And I think we did some damage over there. We never made it over there or anything. But yeah, no, I would have loved to have gotten a record deal. I was so young. Nobody came around, and I don't know if we knew exactly how to do it. So
It was harder than people think. People see the way the world is today, and you have two kids in the bedroom with a machine, and they record an entire album's worth of music as a band. They released it on their own. They could print up the albums very easily. Back then, you counted on a record label to pay for everything to put it out for you, and then distribute it and get it
Yeah,
world and known. And what you guys did was kind of rare at the time because not a lot of bands were able to put out their own record, finance it, print it up and get it out there.
yeah.
That's a lot to do, especially for bands just starting out.
Yeah, we did, and we were able to get that distribution deal, which was helpful. But again, it was just to distribute the record. It wasn't like we weren't signed to them, but that helped, produce some money to get it out. But yeah, no, it wasn't like that, and it was really hard to get access to A&R guys, and you had to know the right people, and you had to be in the right gig at the right place, and it was definitely a different time.
Yeah, I know. I think the dam kind
And
of broke open.
I don't know if New York. Yeah, I don't even know if New York was the place at the time for glam metal either. Like, I feel like, California was exploding, and here we were. So I don't know.
It was a It really was the New York scene and the California scene were two completely different scenes. You had bands playing all different genres of music, but that was the place to go. But you know how many bands have had in the show that said, we went out there because we were doing so well, like here in Pennsylvania and in New York and New Jersey. We went out there and we just
Hmm.
got lost in the crowd. They had like
Yeah,
they had their own thing going on out there, and we were like on the outside. We couldn't break our way in. It was very difficult. So it's always a what if what would have happened if we did it, right?
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. It was so saturated, and here it was. And I mean, you had bands like White Lion. Like, there were bands here that made it. You know, so there was access. It just seemed like, and it was a blink here. It seemed like it it was over before it started, almost, with that whole glam rock scene.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think I saw you guys with, I want to say it was TT Quick at Lemoore was the first time I saw you guys live. I don't know if that, I'm trying
Yeah.
to, like I said, a lot of my brain cells are still back then too, but I,
That's a
I, I,
big
I
that's
could
a
swear.
big gig. I remember that gig. I remember going backstage. I think that was our first gig there. That was a really big deal.
Yeah.
That was they were huge, and you know what killed them was the drinking age going up. That
I
killed
know.
them.
I first got in there, then like a couple months later, they made it 21. I was like, oh my God, what are they doing? But thank God for fake IDs back then, and it didn't have you look
Yeah,
good. They just let you in anyway.
yeah, those guys were making thousands and thousands of dollars a week touring. They were, yeah. So we ended up working with them closely, like with a couple guys from that band who went on to manage other bands and do other things, um, briefly, at least for a minute. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, listen, the record comes out now, and you get distribution. It's starting to get out there. Like you said, you're doing interviews over in Europe, and it was hard to get there back then because we didn't know what was really happening there because we didn't have the availability like we do
Yeah.
now. But I mean, what took place after that? I know you had the signings and the stores, the shows. I mean, how far along did it go after that before you felt things weren't just happening?
Well, it just, yeah. So, it's kind of a sad story, but yeah, it was big. Like, it was great. I feel like I would go out anywhere in the tri state area, like, people knew who we were. And it felt really big, really fast. And, it was a time where there was a lot going on. And I ended up quitting the band, you know, and very abruptly. I left the band. And I don't know, I guess maybe you don't know this, but they ended up getting another singer for a while. And I don't really think they did much after that. And then I kind of went out on my own, and I first did something under my name. And then I started a band called Amazing Grace. And we, we, we were together for a bit, traveled around the country, kind of an extension of what Kid Gloves was. And that's what happened to it, you know.
Did you record anything under Amazing Grace? Because I remember hearing about the name of the band. And was anybody from Kid Gloves also involved in that with you, or was it just you?
No, well, Joey played with us in a few iterations throughout the time, but Tony and Joey, the other Joey, the guitar player, they stayed with Kid Gloves for a while. But Joe did. Joey Akampor stayed with me for a bit, and he would come in and out. And yeah, we recorded some stuff. Like, do you remember Firehouse? Remember that
Yeah,
band?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so their producer Dave Prater produced one of our demos. Um, that was an interesting thing, but yeah, and I mean, I think we got a lot closer. Like we did some showcases with that band. We did a lot of touring. We did get pretty decent radio play around the East Coast and up through, So yeah, that band did pretty well for a while. Um,
When did you officially leave Kid Gloves? Was it at the end of the '80s? Because I remember there was a demo tape that came out after the record, maybe a year or so later. So you were part of that, and then it ended after that.
That's a good question, and I don't remember.
I think it was
Yeah,
Don't
I
Let
have
Go and
like
Freedom or something
these.
in the Night was on there.
Oh, Nowhere in the Night.
I think it was called
That
Something
song
in the
was
Night.
like an Amazing Grace song. Something in the Night. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know. That's so interesting. Like I left the band very. I don't even think. I mean, it was probably 1989 at the latest that I left the band. So I did not. I don't think we recorded anything after the EP with me, at least. They probably did with the new singer. We did have like two pressings of the EP. I don't know if you've seen them. There's like one that just has the kid gloves with the blue logo on it, and then there
yeah.
was another one with a drawing that someone did. So there were the two pressings, but no, I didn't record anything with them after. It is incredible that people still remember it after all these years, considering how short lived it really was.
Yeah. Well, when you
Um,
were around back then, you remember the bands that you liked and the music that you liked, and you still play. I mean, I still play the band on the show all the time, and I talk about them all the time. But it was like just the four songs on the EP. Was there anything else that was around at that time that was recorded that just never got released, or were those the only songs you had going into the record?
well, it had to be because we were playing entire shows, right? So there has to be stuff out there. Um, I think some of it, like we didn't like we must have had more songs. I think yeah, I don't have any recordings. If there's stuff out there, I guarantee you Joey Bazille has it because him and his family kept really tight rein on that stuff. The kind of proprietary way. Frank was the original guitar player, and then Frank left because he was kind of gonna live a regular life, and we auditioned and got Joey Bazille, and Joey's family was really involved, and that's when we did the second pressing of the EP so that Joey's picture could be on it, and even though he didn't play on that record, and they were really supportive of us, and if there's anything left, I bet you they have
So he didn't even play on the record. He's just got his picture on there. It's like a Rudy Sarzo type of
it.
thing. Rudy's on every
He
record, but
is
he never played
Rudy.
on him.
Yep, that's him. In this picture you have here
Yeah.
of us, that is not the guy who played on the record. That
That's
is
just the
not
way it
him.
goes. Nobody, listen,
That's the way it
Ozzy
goes.
Osbourne had one band and he thought everybody had different people in the records and people thought they were on the band. That's just the way it was back then. They wanted to like
I don't,
present the full band, They didn't want people thinking that those weren't members in the band anymore.
yeah, no, you got to have the band. And I mean, honestly, Joey had the look too. He like totally had the look. Frank was more transitioning into the adult corporate life. He kind of had the little mullet going on there and that whole thing. And Joey, like the girls just loved Joey. He was, adorable and he had it all. So it worked. It was great, you know.
Before you came on, I was just saying this too. That back in the day, bands had so much going for them. They had the look, they had the songs, they had the sound. They just couldn't break through. It just didn't happen sometimes. You can never figure out why. How somebody can like don't write their own music, doesn't have anything to do with any of the records. They become billionaires. The biggest band, all these boy bands from the '80s. It's incredible. But I always thought you guys had everything going on. You had the music, the sound was there, the songs were there, the looks were there, and it just doesn't happen sometimes. What made you finally leave the
Yeah.
band? Was it just personal stuff that with other members, or was it just felt like nothing was going to happen and you wanted to get out?
I don't, I was thinking because I knew you were going to ask me that question. I think there was a lot, I think I had a lot going on personally, and my head wasn't on right. And I was dating this guy. He was also in a band, and It was so interesting because him and all his friends just surrounded me and all this. And the minute I quit that band, it was like they just were not as interested anymore. Like I really experienced like what it was like to fall out of popularity like that, not be invited to the parties anymore, not be such a big deal. But yeah, I think it's more just personal stuff. And I don't know where my head was at. Um, if I had to do it again, I mean, I always believe that, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. But if I had to do it again, I wouldn't have done that. I would have stuck it out with them.
It makes you wonder what would have happened. I mean, it's always easy to look back all these years
Yeah.
and say, we would have had another record out. That record would have, broke. We would have gotten radio airplay. You never know what could have happened or what
Yeah.
didn't happen. But what you did leave behind to me, it's a legacy of music. I mean, it's an EP that came out, literally 40 years ago now when you think about it, and people still talk about it. At least on my show, we still play it, and it's just incredible. Like what you can do in that short amount of time that lasts this long.
That's incredible. I'm really glad. I mean, I feel really, really privileged to have created music that people still want to listen to so many years later. I mean, that's honestly, I mean, that is what more could you really ask for, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you could ask for fame and all the other stuff. And a lot of these guys, I mean, we're watching our youth die, like all our idols from back then, so many of them are not making it. And here I am. I'm good and I've moved on, but still there are people that, even though they're not that many, there are people still listening to the music, and I can't really ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, that's so true. Everybody's moving on. The only one that's still going to be is Keith Richards. He's not going anywhere. I don't think he can
He's
go.
not going
I
anywhere.
I, I think it's impossible.
What the
I,
hell?
I
What
think
the hell?
sometimes like they're coming around and all. It's like you want to get tickets to go. I'm like, I don't have the energy to go walk up the stairs and go there. I'm like, this guy's 80 years old. He's still playing on stage. I can't even walk into the stadium. It's just it's
Crazy. Like
amazing.
how? What? I know it is, and that would be such a life. Like I see some of these guys. Like I'm dying to go see King's X. I would like if I could make it, I'd fly out to Houston to see them. And I looked it up, and I mean, like Doug Pinnick is 71 years old,
It's hard to
and I'm
believe,
like,
right?
oh my God, so hard to believe, so hard to believe. So, but yeah, I mean, they're still playing, and it's awesome. That is awesome. I do hope to play again one day. That's for sure. Maybe some old stuff.
Do you think you would put another lineup together? I mean, maybe not be Kid Gloves going out on your own, but just doing some of those songs and some of the amazing great stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I had a whole solo singer songwriter thing after that. Like, and that stuff, like that stuff's out there. It's on iTunes. It was also distributed. I toured around the country for many years, probably close to 10 years.
Wow.
We were like one of the first Borders books and music people. Like we broke that whole, remember that whole scene when
Yep.
bands would come in and play in Borders books? Like we were like one of the first ones. I figured out how to get a UPC code put on the back of my CDs. And once I did that, all the Borders bookstores would buy our CDs in advance of us coming there. And so it would like pay for our tour. Like if we're selling them at like $10 a piece and they're buying 30, and we just, we could play the clubs at night and then go do these little acoustic sets around at Borders. And man, we traveled all around the country for years. So
That
that
was
was
brilliant.
that was
That was
pretty
that
cool.
was a brilliant marketing way of doing it. Figure out how to put a UPS code on your
Well,
record and getting people
I'm
to go and get it that
serious.
way.
Let me tell you, I could write a book about that. But yeah, it was. I learned so much. That's what I think. That's the point, right? Like we were talking about before. What did you do, Lisa? How did this even happen? And I didn't know how to do things, and I just learned over time. And then by the time I got that solo career going, it really, I feel like I had it. And those guys have done stuff. Like my guitar player, co-writer, he was my partner for many years. He's like the lead guitar player for Dope, and he's still playing. They're still playing. So many of them have done a lot of things. So
Yeah, I mean,
Still out
after
there.
the '80s ended and grunge came around and people weren't into it and all the whole hard rock and heavy metal scene kind of fell apart. Then it came back around 20 years later, like everything else. It's like this, the cycle of life where everything comes around again and then it stays at some level. And but there are still bands that were like very underground back in the day that didn't really have much success, but they're still doing it. 40 years later, they get together
Oh,
when they can. They put out music. They do little shows here. They'll
yeah.
have their lives now, their families, their jobs, but they still keep doing it one way or another. Just never, they never give up.
Yeah, I know, and I love that. And I, you know, some of those I come across when I watch Drumeo. I don't know if you ever watch his channel, but like he'll get some really awesome drummers from some really great metal bands that we haven't heard of for such a long time. And I'm like, man, these guys are still playing, and that's awesome. That is really great.
It is.
So maybe one day I'll get back together. I mean, I would love to get at least those last guys together that I was playing with. They're all insane musicians, and then yeah, they'd play this stuff. We played some of this stuff over the
Well,
years, you know.
if you do that, I'm coming to
So
see you no matter where you play.
okay, definitely maybe a house party. How
That's
about
okay.
that for an
That you come over to
idea?
my house. I got plenty of room. I got a big stage in the backyard. We'll have a good time. We'll play over here.
That'll be so much fun, definitely.
Get you.
And I've had a whole group of friends out there in New Jersey who used to always be at our shows, and like they're still there. They're still there. We went and visited them last summer, and like it was something. Walked in, and then our music's like he's playing. He's got like 5,000 songs loaded into this whatever, and one of my songs come on, and somebody walks in, and man, I'm just crying. I'm like, this is what it's about, right? Friends and music from that last over all this time, you
Yeah.
know.
What's funny is that if you ask any of these young kids today just coming into the scene and getting into hard rock music or heavy metal and there's still these bands out there that have they're female fronted or they're all female bands. Nobody thinks nothing of it today, but it was a whole different world back in the '80s. Did you feel that you didn't fit in or that they would look at you in a different way because you were fronting the band?
I had such a funny story about this. Yeah, I think we definitely had a different, but I remember one night I was at Lemoore, and I don't remember who was playing, but the bass player from White Lion walked up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're that chick who sounds like a guy on the radio, aren't you?" And that was that's what he said to me. And there was kind of that thing going around because I just think because the guys were singing so high, right? And here I was, and yeah, that's what he said. And my voice wasn't, you know, honestly, I listen to it now compared to what it became over the years, but it wasn't, you know, as great as some of the other female singers, if you remember, like Janet Rain and like Little Sister and some of that. It wasn't as technically as good, but I could sing really high because I was a girl. And so I think that was it. It was like she's a girl that sounds like a guy, I think. you know so
Was
I
singing
think that's
something
what it
you
was.
did that was natural to you, or did you just say, you know what, I want to be in a band and I'm going to be a singer? I mean, how did it come about? Did you always
Okay,
sing?
well, no, I was a classical pianist from the time I was 5 years old.
Oh,
And I played flute and guitar. I went to high school performing arts, the Fame School, and I went to prep school for music, like in Manhattan. And I was like, I'm gonna play the Garden before I'm 25. I said that I did my first concert at a library when I was 9 years old, playing original songs. Like I've been a musician my whole life, so um, singing wasn't my first talent. I had to kind of grow into that. And I did work the keyboards and the pianos and so my later stuff. But yeah, I was a musician since I was a kid.
learning to grow into the role of a singer is one thing, but you're also the front person of a band. All eyes are on you. You're the one standing right up there in the front. So, is it difficult going from being behind this big piano and keyboard to being like just you and a little microphone and having to like really be the focus and entertainment of the whole night besides singing?
Yeah, it was. Actually, it really was. I think I was very self-conscious and believe it or not. And I remember my drummer used to like come. Tony used to come and like take the microphone stand away. He's like, "You need to put that down. You need to stop hiding behind that microphone stand." That I would like do all the Aerosmith. Let me see how many scarves I can tie to it, and but he's like, you can stop dragging that. And I remember he used to like drag it around the stage and stuff, but by the time the 90s rolled around, I had like a headset on and I was jumping all over the place and then guitars, and so I kind of grew into it. But back then it was hard, and I was a woman and it wasn't a very female dominated type of music at the time.
No.
And then it became that, like I had lots of friends who were doing it, and we opened for Doro once, and there were lots of people like that. So
When you get up on stage, like, you're playing the show and, the curtains go down or whatever you want to say, the lights come up and you're out there performing. I mean, when the crowd starts going crazy after that first song, does it make it easier for you? Do you feel a little bit more comfortable and relaxed? Because, like, all right, they like us. They like what we're doing. This is a lot easier now. Or do you get that reaction where you feel like they're not really getting us and now you kind of like shy away a little more?
no, I mean, no, definitely. If the response is good, you're in. Now you're cruising, and a little bit of the adrenaline is good in the beginning. It gets you going. It pushes you out there. Luckily, I don't think we ever. I mean, I'm sure in my career I've had some times when people were like, "What the hell?" But with Kid Gloves, it was never like that. I mean, we always had packed crowds, and people were always excited to see us. And it was, the China Club. Remember that place? It's so
Yeah.
packed all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's Studio One. Did we play Studio One with Kid
Yes,
Gloves?
you
I
did
don't
play
think
Studio
so.
One. Yeah, no, you did. That was in New Jersey. I know I saw you in New Jersey. I couldn't remember the name of the place. I think that was it.
Yeah, I think that was it. Kid Gloves or Amazing Grace. I know we played there with Amazing Grace, but maybe Kid Gloves too. I don't know.
Now you got me
Yeah, I
thinking.
know I played. Yeah, no, I know. I have people who remember all this stuff. I'm just not one of them. So yeah, I mean, but definitely we played all those Nyack. We played up in Nyack. I remember doing a radio interview up there, and I listened to that radio interview. I sound so stupid. Oh God, I
No,
sounded so stupid. I
uh,
was sitting there. I had been in California for a couple of years, and so here I am, like so from New Jersey, right? Like I'm talking, I'm like all this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm back from California, and I got this California accent. I sounded so dumb. I was like, oh my God. I was like, you sound, yeah. So, but we had fun. It was
and,
definitely fun.
and that's all that matters. At least you had some good times out. At least I could talk to you forever. I got another guest waiting to come on, and I want to play a couple of songs from
Sure,
the album. But man, it was so
sure.
great talking to you. And I know a record label that wants to re-release this stuff. So if you could ever figure out a way of making it happen, he could put it out there. And it would be great for a new generation of kids to hear this music. It's just too good to let go.
Terrific. Thank you so, so much for having me. It's so nice to talk to you. I would love to talk anytime.
You got it, Lisa. We'll do that again. Thank you very much. You have a great night.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. But every time you get a great talkative guest, you always have two live interviews, and you can't let one go late for the other. But she was great to talk to. And here you go. Let's get some kid gloves on for everybody. Turn it around.
right, there you go. Reasons. And turning around. I want to thank Lisa for being on tonight's show. We're going to get to Joe McGee from Crimson Steel in a few minutes. I just want to remind everybody the show is now airing on that metal station, so don't forget to tune in. They're airing the replays from the Sunday night show on Monday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 11 a.m. I know most people listen to it on my own site, the blog and heavenradioshow.com, but if you get a chance, stop by there and give the show a listen. All right, before I forget, next week, Carmine Appice is our guest. We're going to be talking about the new Cactus record, Vanilla Fudge, and everything else that he's done over the years. Carmine is a funny guy to have on the show. You got to remember, he wrote Do You Think I'm Sexy with Rod Stewart, so we always like joking about that with him. But we'll be talking to Carmine next Sunday night. Don't forget that. All right, we're going to get to Joel in a few minutes. Let me play one more tune before we do, and then we'll play some Crimson Steel after the interview. How about we do Running Wild, Satan?
Just on the way to hell. Satan. Going into madness, they hope and wait for his grace. Johnson
you go. Running Wild with Satan. I know they got a new record coming out, so I don't know what it's going to sound like. Are they going back to the pirate theme or more of that modern metal that they did on the last record from way back? We'll find out. But let's get Joel on the line. Give me a second here to dial him up, and we'll get this interview going right now. I should have put the number in before when we were waiting for the song to end, but I just didn't do it. So hang on, bear with me. Okay, here we go. I liked it better when Skype was around because it was so much easier to upload everything and do it ahead of time. But now, you got to do things more difficultly. I guess is the right word to say.
Hello?
Joel, this is Mike calling for our interview. You're live.
Hello?
How are you?
Going.
Joel, this is Mike. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little breaking up, but I can
How
hear
are
you.
you? How you doing today, Joel? How are you? Yeah, I don't think we have a good connection here.
All right, man. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Everything okay?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know if we got a delay or anything,
You
but
getting me
you're not
now?
coming through right away. Yeah, I can hear you a little better right now. That's good. All
Okay.
right, yeah, we're good, I think. All right, listen, it's great to have you on here
So
today. I'm
what's
so
going on?
happy that there's a new
All
record
right,
coming
cool.
out. I'm so happy for you. Hello?
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're pretty excited about it ourselves.
Yeah, Joel, if for some reason you're coming back like a minute after I'm talking, I think there's some sort of delay going on between the phones.
Yeah, I can hear the delay.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to hang up on you and call you back. Maybe we can reconnect and get a better connection.
All right, thanks.
Okay, I'll talk to you in a second. All right, let's give that another shot and see if it works better this time.
Hello?
Hey, Joel, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you better.
Oh, that's perfect. Hey, listen, I was saying before, I'm glad to have you on, and I'm happy that we got a new record after the last couple of years of waiting. It sounds great, this new album.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure. So let's get to the beginning of the band for people that don't know. I mean, you guys were around for quite a bit of time. I mean, it was a little bit of a different name before you became Crimson Steel, wasn't it?
Yes. Um,
So how did that all come
yeah,
about?
well, um, I'm the founding member, and when we first got together, guitarist that joined up with me, he had a name already and was adamant about using it. So that's how that came about. Um, but before the first album came out, um, I really thought there needed to be a name change. So changed the name, and then just started going through different members because the first album is great, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be when I envisioned what's going on now. So as I acquired members, they were more to my style of writing, and Crimson Steel is what it is now, is what it was supposed to be.
Was it just really musical? Was it just the music that you weren't happy with that original lineup of the band, or just the sound or the direction that it was going in, or just what was it that didn't get going?
It was the sound, the direction that it was going in. Um, it was supposed to be more of the U.S. power metal, traditional metal, and I felt like it was going more the direction of just heavy rock.
Oh, okay, I got that. Well, this record makes up for that.
Thank you. Yeah, the people I got with me now, they're great. great people, great writers. This is the Crimson Steel that will be around for a while.
Yeah, the record sounds phenomenal. I mean, I think what you did. I mean, the sound of it is phenomenal. I mean, Tina, I think is so great. I think she really brings a different vibe to the band than you have with the other singer. I know, like you said,
She
it wasn't
does.
where you wanted to go musically, but I mean, how did it come about? Were you looking for another female singer to replace Iris, or were you just looking for anybody who can do what you wanted?
I was, and funny story, I guess. When we were teens, Tina and I were actually in a band together. It was one of our
Oh,
first
okay.
bands together, and then through life and moving to different parts of the state, we got separated. And then back in fall, early winter of 2024, she actually found me on Facebook, and she was like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Of course I remember you." And she was like, "Hey, you want to put together a side project?" I was like, "Well, actually, my main project is needing a new singer, and I think you would be more than perfect." And of course, she was. She came into the audition, blew it away. She was the only one that got auditioned. I told the other guys, "That's all we're going to need." And they were like, "Let's not jump the gun. Let's do it." And she sung two songs, and they were like, "You want to join the band?"
It worked out.
Yeah,
Well, when you have to change the singer of a band, it's always a tricky thing. I mean, but it was just the first record, so you could kind of do that, and then people kind of forget about what you did before then. But was that a thing that concerned you, that people had kind of identified what the band was then, and now it's really basically a whole new band when you think about it, sound wise, anyway.
it is. It is. Um, Actually, David, the guitarist, phenomenal guitarist, me and him were doing something on the side together, and we clicked really well. So as soon as I needed to go more the direction I wanted to go, I said, "Hey man, you up for it?" And he was like, "Yeah man, let's do it." So we haven't looked back.
So, I mean,
And
the record
then with
will be
Will,
officially out
the
on.
drummer, he came on last, but he's phenomenal, and he's jumped right in there. And he only had like 2 months to get ready for the CD, and he went in and knocked it out.
Yeah, he did a great job on it. That's a lot of work to come up with in 2 months' time, but he pulled through, and it sounds phenomenal. And I think about that. Isn't there a song? How did you get James Rivera to sing on this? Isn't he on one of the songs with you?
Yes, he's on Bleed Into One, and Tina had met him years ago, and they had talked about doing something together at some point. So we just decided when she came in, she was like, "Yeah, I think this would be a perfect opportunity. You want me to reach out?" And we was like, "Of course. Why would we not reach out to James?" So that's all.
Yeah.
That's all her and a friendship that she had garnered years ago, and the song came out great.
Was the song already written, and then you kind of finagled it to work around the two vocal stylings, or was it written specifically for the two of them, like doing a duet together?
It was already written as far as music. The lyrics came up with James in mind.
Did it come out? Did it come out the way you were hoping it would come out?
Actually, it came out better. I mean,
Ah,
we knew it was good, and it was gonna be okay. But then when James put his vocals to it, we were like, "Yeah, that's exactly what we were going for, and more."
yeah. Well, I know you've been busy with a lot of shows. I mean, this month, next month, and you think even going into June or July, you got a lot of shows lined up. I mean, how difficult is it today to
Yes,
get like these shows going? Is it hard to get on these bills? Because I think you got a show with Raven coming up, or it happened already.
yes. Just the local venues that we're used to. We're like, "Hey, we think you'd fit great on this bill. Would you like to do it?" And it's Raven, so yes, we would like to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we found out that in Virginia they were just coming through, so we reached out to that venue and said, "Hey, we'd like to jump on that one. We're already playing with them." A couple days later, and they listened to our stuff and they were like, "Sure, y'all would be a great fit." So that's how we ended up with those two. Um,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the Haunting and Trance we just did was same way. They were coming through, and we asked to jump on the show, and they were like, "Yeah, it'd be a great fit."
Is that like what it comes down to today? You could just call up the venue that you're familiar with and one that you play quite often and try to get on a bill that's happening that, is the same genre of music as yourselves because a lot of bands have to buy onto these tours and it's a very expensive proposition to get onto these tours and play these shows.
Yeah, it's very hit and miss, and a lot of times their people are handling it, and the bands have nothing to do with it. The venues have nothing to do with it. So they seek out people on their way through, and then just every once in a while, when they're coming through, the venue gets the opportunity to make the call. So, but it's very hit and miss. I can't tell you there's a formula. I wish there was.
Yeah, it's not that easy anymore these days. But I mean, what does a band do to get
No.
its name known? You've been doing this a long time. You've been in different bands. You've been around the scene quite a bit. So how does a band get its name out there today? How do you get like a lot of people to come to the band to find out who you are? I mean, the new record's on Heaven and Hell, which is a great label. They do a great job of putting out the product, and they do an amazing job. Jeremy's a great guy. I mean, what does the
Yeah,
band do
he
like
is.
to further its presence?
It's social media has a lot to do with it. Um, Finding your way onto shows with the bigger names, just basically pounding the social media pavement and hoping the algorithms get right for you to get in front of the right people. But it's just work, work, work.
Do you find it difficult getting the people that are very active on social media to actually be active in real life and come to the shows, and come out and support, or is it kind of work
Yeah,
enough where you get a little bit each time?
yeah. It's like, wow, we got 50 thumbs up. Well, that's about three people that will show up. So it's it's a lot of work because people will throw a can't wait for this. Yes, we're going to support all kinds of stuff, and then you never see their face. So you really have to get out there and overdo it for it to be what you actually want it to be.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's the end game of all this? I mean, is it to get to the next level, or is it just to have a good time and put out music and stay local?
No, definitely not stay local. We want to take this as far as we can. Um, Doing some stuff in Europe, definitely. Just take it as far as we can and do it as long as we can.
Yeah. Do you find that the European crowd is more receptive? Like that is where you'd want to kind of break and get out because it seems like they live it and breathe it more than we do over here these days.
That is the truth. That is definitely where you want to be. They appreciate true metal. Um, it's very underground over here in the U.S., and they almost have to be told what to listen to. No offense to the U.S. people, I still love you, but the Europeans, yeah, they live and breathe it.
Yeah, it looks like it's 1984 every time you go over there to show us something. Everybody's
Yeah,
like never left that behind. It's like they're still living that life and they just never
exactly.
gave up on it like we did over here. It's very trendy here in the US and over there it's not. But
It is.
do you think maybe buying onto a tour would be worth the money or is it just not even an option?
Yes, it'll be worth it. Definitely, we were actively seeking to try to get ourselves across the water.
Yeah. Most people try to do it with the festival circuit, but that's even getting harder and harder to get on where you could do it not so hard. It's very difficult to get your band out on a festival today.
It is. It is. So before we were, saying, "Hey, we're ready for this. We can do this," but we didn't have anything out there physically to show people. And now with the new album, we had that. So it's just getting it to the right people, getting it in their hands, in their ears, and then hopefully they agree with us that we should be playing there.
Yeah. Well, Show No Fear, the new record, is officially out on May 1st. It's right around the corner, another week or two away. I mean, going back to the first record, I know, like you said, you weren't happy with the direction the band was going in and the sound and style of the music, but is there anything from that record that you would still do and maybe revamp the sound more of what you want it to be?
Yes, I'm definitely wanting to take the ones that I wrote on that record and try to do something with them because we still had people that really liked it, but I just think they could be so much more. And with this group, I think it definitely can be where I want it to be.
Yeah. With the first record, like I said, it wasn't the sound and style that you were aiming for, and that's what you kind of accomplished on the second album. But was it worth the fight during the first record to get your way and say, "Hey, this is not what we're about," or was it just too much going on? You couldn't even, do that at the time.
Yeah, it was worth the fight because there's people that I met in the process that I wouldn't have got to meet otherwise. So fights are normally worth it if there's a good reason for fighting.
So now that you got this record out, and down the road there's going to be more, and now this is the vein and the style of the music that you're going in. Is it better that you become the primary songwriter on every song that way? No matter what happens to the lineup, no matter who comes and goes, they know that this is your band and this is kind of how you want it to sound.
No, at this point, I trust everybody in the band, and they are all phenomenal in what they do, and we have the same mindset on what we want to accomplish. So it's all going to come out where we want it to be.
Got it. I know the first record you guys did on your own, it was an independent release. How'd you come into meet heavy metal? I mean, Heaven and Hell.
Well, through some friends I know, and I talked to Jeremy about the first record, and he wasn't doing any new stuff at the time. And then he reached out to me on this second one and said, "Hey, I'm interested in this one. I've got some time and availability. Can you send me some stuff over?" So I did, and he was like, "Yeah, we can do something with this." So
You sent them over something that was on the new record, one of those songs.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, but when you sent them over some music to to listen to, was it the music that you wrote for the new record, Show No Fear?
Yes, yes.
I know Heaven and Hell does a great job on the records. I mean, they do a beautiful package with the artwork and everything else. I mean, how'd you feel about it when you saw the final product?
We were very happy. Jeremy does a great job, so we're glad to be collabing with him on this.
Yeah. He doesn't pick a lot of active new bands to put records out by. So when I heard that he was taking you guys under his wing and putting out the record, I knew it was going to be good. And this album does not disappoint in any way, shape, or means. I mean, I think you guys hit the mark on every song on this record.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I kind of see your band doing like a concept record somewhere down the road because all the songs tell a story. If you listen to this album, even though none of them have anything to do with each other, they kind of flow so nicely. You can see there being a story being told on one of your records one day.
Yeah, we've discussed that because once we didn't write with that in mind, but once we started putting everything together, we're like, this is almost a concept record. So,
Yeah,
yes, we've definitely thought about it.
yeah, it's nice because you have like the instrumental, you have the opening, so it kind of flows nicely that way. But it would be great. I mean, what do you think you would write about? What would interest you to put out a concept record? Is there any certain thing that you would want to write about?
Just whatever comes to our mind. It's not like when I write or when anybody else in the band's write, we don't say we're going to write about this. It's just as it goes along, it develops.
Yeah. Are you open to other members of the band contributing what they want, maybe even if it doesn't kind of fit into like the theme that you're going with?
Like I said, we're so. I know you probably hear it before, but this band is so on the same page in everything we're doing. It's going to work out. So I have
Yeah.
no doubt that whatever we put together is going to work.
It's hard to find three, four guys to play with today. I mean, and girls, and women out there. It's hard to find a bunch of people to play with today that are on the same page and do have the same vision. Somewhere down the road, somebody always comes up with something and things go haywire and they're going to get out of control. But to find a few people to play with, is that the biggest challenge of being in a band today? Is finding three, four people that are dedicated to writing music and putting out albums and going out on the road.
It is. I mean, you may find somebody that's kind of on the same page with the writing style as you, but they don't want to go on the road. Or you got somebody that's gung ho to go on the road, but they don't want to put in the work to get there. So it is extremely hard to find the right people people. And once you do, every family is going to have issues and arguments, but you got to be able to get over them and remain a family.
Yeah. Well, I guess going into, with this record, because you played with Tina before in the past, you knew what she was all about and how she could sing and what she can do. So I guess there were no surprises. You knew what you were going to get.
Yes,
Does
great
that
voice,
make it
great
easier
work
as a
ethic.
songwriter? Oh, definitely a great voice. I mean, it's a killer voice. But does that make it easy for you as a songwriter because you know that whatever you
Yes,
come up with, she can handle?
yes, because I've always got ideas in my head, and I love writing both music and lyrics. But sometimes it's nice to not have the pressure that everything's got to come from you.
Yeah. Is
And
songwriting
I know her
difficult for you?
approach
Is it something
and
you got to
her.
work on?
I'm sorry, say that again.
No, I was saying, is songwriting something you really have to work hard on? Is it difficult for you? Does it just come natural or it comes when it comes?
It's natural. I might wake up in the middle of the night with an idea and throw it down on a recorder, or it's just always stuff in my head. Some of the stuff is what kept me out of the good schools, but some of the stuff is music. So,
Yeah. That's great. But Joe, what do you guys got coming up? I know you have a whole bunch of shows lined up. What's the next one on your schedule? Is it next week?
yes, we have Sunday in Richmond, Virginia at the Ember Music Hall with Raven and Slackjaw. And then the next Wednesday, we have Raven and Slackjaw again in Raleigh at Chapel of Bones. And then we've got something major coming up that I can't mention right this second, but will be within the
Ah,
next 2 weeks.
it sounds like something pretty good is coming up.
It is. We're
Ah,
very
that's always
excited.
great. Well, listen, Raven always draws a good crowd. John went through a lot last year with his brain surgery, but he's back out there killing
Yeah,
it, and they're just a great band. And you guys up there with them, it's going to be a killer show.
I know it is, man. They always put on a good show.
Yep, they're like the 20 years old when you go out there seeing them play. Meanwhile, they're in their 70s.
I know. I know.
It's kind of embarrassing when you can't stand there for a half hour watching them play and they're jumping all over the place.
I know. They definitely give us something to keep up with.
Well, it's definitely going to be a great gig. But Joe, I'm going to let you go. I only got a few minutes left in the show. I want to play some music off the record and everything. But the best of luck with the band. This record is going to kill. It comes out May 1st on Heaven and Hell Records. I mean, make your way down to the New York area. I love it. Well, up to the New York area. You guys are down south, but make your way up here. I'd love to see you guys live one day.
We definitely have plans to be up there and all over. Anybody that'll take us, and we're willing to go out there and do it.
Well, that sounds great, my friend. Joe, you take care and have a good night.
You too, man. Appreciate you. Have a good night.
You got it. Thank you. Bye bye. All right, let's get on something off the record. I'm having trouble with one of the songs. Let's get on Dark Rider.
Be afraid to walk in the shadows. Be afraid of the
All right, Crimson Steel, Dark Ride. I'm sorry, I had a lot of phone trouble with that interview, and I was trying to figure it out as I'm talking. I'm getting confused and couldn't make it happen. These are the days I miss having Tommy on as my co-host because when the shit hit the fan and technical problems happen, Tommy could kind of work on it behind the scenes as I was doing the interview and have to worry about it. I can't multitask. I should get my wife to come down and do this with me because I can't figure this out. I'm not good with the computer stuff. I'm trying to upload this, look at that, queue up this, and try to figure out why the phone's not working and talk. It's just too much for me. I like it when an interview goes nice and smooth. Nothing but phone trouble tonight, but there you go. All right. I want to thank Joel. I want to thank Lisa. We got one more set of music to do, then we're going to wrap it up. Carmine and Pieces on the show next week. There's a funny video on YouTube. I don't really use YouTube or go to it a lot, and somebody's always asked me, how come it takes so long for the show to upload to YouTube? It's only because I don't do it. I don't use YouTube. I don't put my show on there. The site that hosts it does it automatically. So whenever they do it, they do it. And, I don't even like to tell people about it. I put up the links to it because I don't really use YouTube myself. But there's a funny video up there with Carmine where he's in a record store or something and people are trying to figure out how to say his last name because, Vinny, his brother uses Vinny Appice. Technically, the name is Apici because that's the Italian way of saying the name. And then he goes by Apice. So it's a funny video. Just if you find it on YouTube, go ahead. Just look if Carmine tells people how to say his name or something. And it's a funny video. He does a good job of acting in it. So maybe he wasn't acting, but it's pretty funny. All right, let's get to the next set of music. Christian wanted to hear Warswolf, A Call to Arms. Let's get that on for him. Then we'll do some brand new Ruthless, Lex Legion, and then we'll wrap it up tonight.
Well, you got free, got broke.
All right, brand new Lex Legion. I want to thank Mark for sending that over to me. Sleep Eternally. I think it sounds great, man. I'm waiting for the whole record to come out. That is the entire King Diamond band from the late '80s, minus King Diamond. I can't remember who's singing with them on this album. I believe it's from Sweden. But when you hear it, it has that King Diamond sound from back in the day. So I wonder if these were songs that were written back then by the band for the next King Diamond record that maybe never materialized that happened. I'm not sure, but I know they're going to be doing press pretty soon, and a lot of the people that I deal with are taking them on. So we'll find out later on. Sean John said Sean Peck. Yeah, Sean said he has a story to tell about that. I don't think he told it yet, but if he does, it'll be funny. I wish I knew about the Lex Legion when we had him on here a few months ago. It would have been good to talk to him about that. He's absolutely a character. But we're going to wrap it up here tonight. I want to thank Lisa for being on tonight's show. I want to thank Joel for being on tonight's show. Next week, Carmine Apiece is our guest. We might have one other guest, I'm not sure, but I know we definitely got Carmine next week, so don't forget to tune in. How about we close it out tonight with Paul Shortino? I haven't had Paul on the show in a very long time. He's just doing a lot of the festival circuits, and he's down in Mexico a lot doing these like Heroes of Rock and type shows with a lot of other people that don't really matter anymore. But Paul is a great guy. Absolutely love him. I still got this gift basket he sent me from like 18 years ago when he was on the show of all like stuff from all his bands from over the years. It's a beautiful little package, and I still keep it. When I had him on, we were talking about Paul and JoJo, which was a band he had when he had to be like 11 years old. He was in a band called, not a band, but it was a group, a duet with a girl named JoJo, and it was Paul and JoJo, and they had like a 45 out. I remember buying that from Kmart back in the day, And when I saw him in California, like a year later, I gave it to him. He doesn't have a copy of his own record, but that was the first thing I ever recorded. But let's do some Paul Shortino now. I think Vinnie Paul Abbott plays drums on this, and I'm not sure who else. This is from one of his solo records. His Send in the Clowns. Judy Collin would be proud of him. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Sunday night.
Isn't it rich? Are we up there? Me giving less on the ground and you
I think we got it.
You better fucking think you got it. You better. Did you get it really?
I think so.
I'm not doing it again. Fuck, I'm not doing it again. That's it. I'm done.
We lost the clown.